Hello to my Cappies, all my Capricorns. All right, Capricorns, let's get right into it. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. This reading is for the 9th of April through the 16th of April. Hopefully you all had a great weekend and are having a great week so far. We're headed towards the full moon. Energy level may be increasing. Make sure you are keeping yourselves hydrated as much as possible and focusing on positives, keeping your vibrations as high as possible. Excuse me. Focusing on anything else can just be draining for you. Focusing on anything negative can be draining. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's go. Set an intention. I am grateful for everything. I am grateful for everything. There we go. That's the intention that you are setting, right? We have the power of free will, so that intentions are extremely powerful, but put action behind intentions. You can set an intention all day long, but if you don't put the action behind it, it's just setting an intention. It's just words, right? But you're going to put action behind it. So that's being grateful for everything, literally. Your colleague at work complaining about something, you can help them change the channel for something. Like if they come into work and they're complaining, oh my God, the traffic was just horrible. You say, but you had a car, or you had money to come, or you have a job. Like you can change the channel for them. Like you can remind them of what to be grateful for, right? That's how you can help them to change the frequency that they're on, right? Or if something comes into your mind that's negative, you can change the frequency, right? You can change it. So let's go. So that's how you're reprogramming yourselves to stay in a posture of gratitude. All right, let's get into it. Yeah. The focus this next 7 days was going to be on your 6th house. Like starting out being very meticulous and analyzing everything, like with a fine-tooth comb, analyzing your thoughts as if you are outside of yourself and listening to someone else nitpick and complain about everything, right? That's how you're going to analyze your own thoughts. As if you're listening to someone else who's complaining about every little thing and you're like, oh my God, I got my own stuff. I got to listen to this, right? That's how you're going to look at it this week. Start training yourself to just be grateful, all right? Let's go. 10 of Pentacles, because you know your worth and you know your value. You know your worth and you know your value, right? There it is. And you're trying to grow your worth and you're trying to grow your abundance, and your prosperity. So when you know your worth and you know your value, in every room you step in, you're looking at growth and abundance. Where can I grow? Where can I become more abundant, right? So I'm grateful for everything. I'm looking at what I'm grateful for, right? What am I grateful for, right? So you have money coming across your path. You have money coming across your path. So you got money coming across your path, because when there are energies who are not grateful for, when people focus on what they're not grateful for, and you got to hear that constantly, what they're not grateful for. Put yourself, when you got colleagues that let's say for instance, you got colleagues that come to work and they complain about the traffic, the goldfish jumped out the bowl, that this happened, that happened, all of these things, and you're like, wow, I woke up and somebody would love to have their job, somebody would love to have this, somebody would love to have that, somebody would love to have those things, right? So you're grateful for everything. That's what you're training yourself for. Right? So yeah. You're grateful that you're on the rebirth side. You grateful that you made it to the rebirth side. You're grateful that you made it to the other side of something. Because remember, the other side of something was, you remember when you didn't have the job. Remember you didn't have the job. You said, well, I need an interview for this position. And when I interview for the position, I hope I get the job, right? Get the job, then I got to wait to hear back from the hiring manager. And just that window of time, you were nervous, right? Then you remember how it felt when you got the call and they said you have the job, right? So, but looking back, you're grateful for all of it. You're grateful for all of it. So you're getting money back. You're getting some money. Emotionally, you're going to feel like you hit the jackpot. Because your wishes are fulfilled. You had that experience. You learned something from it. So that's why you're grateful for everything, not some of it, right? You're grateful for everything. Because there was growth in that time. There was growth in that time. So it's something you're not going back to. Something you're not going back to. Yep, something that you're not going back to. So something is going to feel like a something is going to feel like a homecoming for you. Gratitude for you. Like home is where your heart is, right? Gratitude is going to feel like home for you. Gratitude is going to feel like home for you. Like wherever you are, gratitude is going to feel like home for you. Because remember, source is your energy is a receiving energy. So hopefully somebody follows me with this. Your energy by default, doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, Capricorn, is a receiving sign anyway, right? The more you show source what you're grateful for, the more source is going to trust you with. Right? So source is saying, okay, you're saying you're grateful for everything. Right? And so everything, it's like you're being a cheerful giver to source. I'm so grateful for this job. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for this. I'm showing gratitude for this. I'm grateful for that. Like think about how happy some people are. You're just wondering, like, how are some people so happy? They seem like they don't have a whole lot. They just grateful. You may look at like the physical, like where they live, and it may not look like they have a whole lot, but they just grateful. Right? They may look like they don't have a whole lot, but they're just grateful. Right? Because other people may feel like at whatever stage they are in their lives, they should have more. They should have a bigger house. They should have a bigger car. They should have more money in the bank. They should have this. They should have that. How are they so grateful? And they're not a part of this group. They're not being invited to this. They're not. But what is it? Because it's where your heart is. That's where the connection is. That's where the connection is. Knowing your worth and knowing your value. You're grateful wherever you are. You know your worth and your value wherever you are. Whether you're sitting in a car in traffic, you know your worth and your value. Wherever you are, you feel like you hit the jackpot. You're just happy to be on earth. For real. You're just happy to be on earth. You're just grateful. Grateful to be alive. In the rebirth, you're grateful to be on the other side of something. Because you don't know what people went through to go through a rebirth, to go through a very powerful transformation. Right? Right? So that's what Source is saying to you. When the next time, because what's in this card right here is judgment, right? The next time people judge another person for being happy, you know, for being on that job, and they're judging a person for what kind of, you know, job they have. They don't have this kind of house. They don't have that kind of job. I mean, they don't, you know, they don't make as much. They don't have this size house. They don't have this kind of car. They don't have this kind of whatever. You don't know what it took for them to get to the other side, right? So emotionally, somebody's going to feel like wishes are fulfilled when you start living in a posture of gratitude. Yeah, some people are going to think you're being fake. They're going to think you're being phony, but they won't have a clue as to what you went through just to get here to the Nine of Wands. When you've gone through so much confusion and you just feel like you'll never go back to that. Yeah, you'll never go back to that. Right? Yeah. Well, you're praying that your prayers be sped up quickly. Like, okay, you know, you're like, Source, please, quickly. Well, you're just praying that something would happen fast, quickly, right? Right? So, something has been fulfilled. Your answers have been fulfilled. So if you've ever worked, what's coming to me, because somebody may have what's coming to me right now, because I'm seeing money. What's coming to me right now is somebody may have worked on a job like a contractor job or whatever, where you kept being promised that you were going to get paid and your money wasn't coming through. You had bills to pay. You just kept being promised that you were going to get paid, and it just wasn't coming. The money wasn't coming. Every time you were supposed to get paid, it was an excuse. Something was happening. It wasn't coming through for some reason. That's a reason for a person when you're going through a rebirth. It's just like you're trying to stay positive. You're trying to stay in a positive, staying in a posture of gratitude, and you're like hoping that the prayers get sped up. So you're trying to stay in a posture of gratitude. And so finally, when somebody, because I'm seeing something coming through for somebody, when you can get to a solid job where you feel like, okay, this feels like it's stable. Like you get to a place where it's just stability, like, okay, something feels stable for you. Right? Something feels stable for you. Where you're getting money, you're making money, you feel like emotionally you have hit the jackpot because it's stable. Something feels stable for you. Something feels like home for you. You feel like your prayers were answered. Yeah. So you're transitioning. That's what transitioning. You're traveling. You're not moving through life with a bunch of baggage. You're not moving through life with a bunch of baggage. That's what it feels like for people. You can stay focused. You can stay focused. You feel like things are in harmony. Yeah, you feel like things are in harmony for you. Yeah, you feel successful. So that's what I'm seeing for somebody. Something is final. You feel fulfilled. You feel fulfilled. Right? Yeah. So you were determined to do the dark night of the soul. Or like somebody was determined to do the shadow work. Excuse me. You were determined to do the shadow work. You were determined to do the shadow work. And you had some kind of breakthrough. Mm-hmm. Yep. You were determined to do the shadow work and you had some kind of breakthrough. Yeah, so. And you were successful. Mm-hmm. So like I said, you're grateful for everything. Grateful for everything. Just staying focused. Staying focused. Staying focused. All right. All right. So fast changes. Things happen suddenly in a short period and in a hurry. Yeah. So take bold steps forward. Take bold steps forward. Alright, take bold steps forward. And then many choices. Look at all your options. You have a lot of options headed your way. Yeah, so something happened really quickly for you. Yeah, something happened really, really quickly for you. Where you were able to move on from some situations, from something. And this could have, I mean, really for somebody, this could have literally gone from like a contractor job for somebody. I don't know who that part is for, like a contractor job to something stable. So if that's for you, because I'm seeing money at the top here, congratulations. Because I feel like with something, it's like health insurance and like a retirement something with somebody. Like somebody is going to something where you feel like, okay, you're grounded. Where it doesn't feel like it's on shaky ground. Something feels a lot more harmonious. But here we have fruits of your labor. So rich gain is here. Yeah, so something feels very balanced out for you. Something feels very balanced out. And so you have a lot of bright ideas. So you're taking action on your ideas. So this is good. Good. So yeah, whatever somebody's future plans are, something just feels a lot more stable. Something feels a lot more stable for you. A lot more stable for you. You feel a lot more fulfilled without something. Yeah, so raising the bar. So when you set higher standards for the people and situations in your life, you create space for new levels of joy and abundance. Rise above old patterns. And so make room. So create space to welcome positive change into your life. Let go of everything that doesn't align with the future you are creating. So life is a gift. Life is unfolding for you. So seize the day and make the most of every chance to be true to yourself and live life to the fullest. It's time to cut out all the noise. And so where there is hope, So don't believe that past defeats or disappointments will keep you from succeeding. True success grows from the lessons. A hopeful heart never gives up. All right. So that is what I have for you. 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 All right. Bye.